Listen closely. In the quiet before dawn, when the world still sleeps, there is a choice. Some rush into the day, pulled by noise and habit. Others, like the Shaolin, enter the morning as if stepping into sacred ground. For us, the first breath is not casual. It is the foundation. Before food, before movement, before the mind begins to scatter, there is focus. A mantra, whispered in stillness, is the first spark, not a string of empty words, but a deliberate signal to the mind and body. This day begins with clarity, not chaos. You may think 36 seconds is nothing, but within those moments, the breath deepens, the heart steadies, and the mind sharpens like a blade. This is how monks prepare, not with grand gestures, but with quiet rituals that cannot be seen, only felt. The world will never know what you whispered. That is its strength. It is yours alone. In this teaching, I will reveal the way a simple, secret mantra can reset your state, draw your focus inward, and shift the energy around you so deeply that by the end of the day, you will feel its effect. I will share why silence is not weakness, why short rituals often hold more power than long ones, and how to channel intention so strongly that reality begins to answer back. Stay with me until the final moment. The last words you hear today may become the first words that awaken you tomorrow. You are here with me. This is Shaolin Soulfire, where we explore discipline, clarity, and mastery of the self. Subscribe now and keep walking this path with us. There are mornings when the body feels heavy and the mind begins to bargain. It tells you to delay, to rest, to wait for the right mood. But the Shaolin path does not bend to moods. If we moved only when we felt like it, our practice would dissolve into nothing. Discipline is not fire in the heart. It is the stone beneath your feet. It is the act of standing firm when the wind is strong. In the temple we train in the cold, in the heat, in the rain, and in silence. Not to prove strength to the world, but to show the mind it is not the master. It is the tool. When resistance rises, the untrained mind sees an enemy. The trained mind sees a signal. Now is the moment to hold steady. The mantra you repeat is not for comfort. It is an anchor. It says, I choose my actions, not my moods. 36 seconds may seem small, yet within them lies an unspoken rebellion. In those moments, you refuse the pulls of distraction. You deny the chaos its victory. You stand in a space you have carved for yourself, pure, unshaken, and free from the demands of impulse. This is the truth of Shaolin discipline. It is not the shout of the warrior. It is the steady breath of one who will not be moved. The mantra becomes your ally, your silent witness. No one else needs to know it. No one else needs to see it. In this way, discipline is not punishment. It is a quiet act of respect for your time, for your mind, and for the path you have chosen. The world will change around you, but you will remain steady. Focus is like water. It flows to whatever catches its light. Most people never notice where it goes. One thought pulls them here, another drags them there, until the day is gone and the mind is tired from chasing shadows. Ancient practice begins with watching this flow, not controlling it at first, simply seeing, where does it wander when you wake? What pulls it when you work? Which small distractions steal more than they give? The one who learns to see this clearly begins the journey to mastery. A mantra is not magic, it is a doorway. Each repetition turns your gaze inward. You are not trying to run away from the world. You are returning to the center, from which you can meet it. When the mantra sounds within you, it gathers the scattered streams of thought into a single current. Your breathing falls into rhythm. The body softens. Tension you didn't even know you were carrying begins to dissolve. This is why the repetition matters. It's not the sound alone, but the discipline to return, again and again, to the same point. Each return is a small victory over distraction. Each word, each breath, is a step toward the mind's true home. In older traditions, they say the mind is like a traveler lost in a foreign land. The mantra is the guide who walks you back through winding streets, past the noise of the market, through quiet gates, and into the still courtyard, where you belong. Once you learn the path back, you can return at any time. And in that place, unshaken, undistracted, you see the truth. Mastery is not about controlling the world. It is about knowing where your attention rests, and choosing to place it there fully. Repetition is often misunderstood. To the restless mind, it feels like a cage, doing the same thing again and again. But in the old ways, repetition is the chisel that shapes the stone. It is not confinement, it is refinement. When you speak the same phrase for 36 seconds, something quiet begins to happen. At first, the noise of the day still hums around you. Thoughts about yesterday, plans for tomorrow, they come knocking. But as the words continue, the door begins to close. The clutter thins. The mind starts to listen. Ancient disciplines use this method for a reason. The mind resists stillness, but it cannot resist rhythm. The steady beat of a phrase, the breath matching its pace, becomes a gentle pull inward. You're no longer chasing thoughts, you're letting them settle, like dust in a room once the windows are shut. Clarity does not arrive in a rush. It appears slowly, almost without you noticing. One moment you are speaking the words, the next the words are speaking you. The phrase becomes less about meaning and more about presence. Every repetition strengthens the connection between mind and body, between intention and action. In the temples, they say water wears down stone not through force, but through persistence. The mantra works in the same way. Each repetition carves a channel through distraction, guiding you back to the stillness at the center. When the 36 seconds end, you carry that stillness forward. You see more sharply, speak more carefully, and act with a steadier hand. The outside world hasn't changed, but your way of meeting it has. And that change began not in a grand gesture, but in the quiet courage to repeat one phrase until the noise gave way to clarity. No, mind is not emptiness. It is not the absence of thought, but the absence of distortion. Like a clear lake that reflects the mountains without ripple or stain, the mind in this state sees things exactly as they are. In the Chan tradition, this is the heart of practice. Thoughts still pass through, but they no longer cling. A sound is just a sound. A feeling is just a feeling. There is no story added, no judgment wrapped around it. The mantra becomes a simple boat that carries you toward this shore. At first you row with effort, repeating the words, guiding your breath, steadying your posture. But as the rhythm deepens, the current begins to carry you. The effort fades. The words are still there, but they are lighter now, almost transparent. This is where thoughts begin to loosen. They rise and fall like leaves on the water, yet you are no longer chasing them. You let them pass because you know they are not you. In ancient halls, they spoke of mind before thinking, a state where perception is pure, untouched by habit or fear. The mantra is your entryway. It is not the destination, only the vessel. When you reach the quiet space beyond it, you let the vessel drift away. There in the stillness, clarity feels natural. Decisions are not forced. Awareness is not strained. You are not blank. You are awake in the fullest sense. And when you step back into the world, you carry that vision with you, meeting each moment without the weight of unnecessary thought. This is the gift of no mind, not escape, but the ability to live with the mind clear, unclouded and free. When the mantra travels inward, it becomes more than a sound. It is a vibration that moves through breath, bone and thought. The words themselves may fade, yet their echo remains deep, steady, alive. This is where the body and mind begin to align. The breath slows, not because you force it, but because it falls into harmony with the rhythm of the phrase. The spine lengthens, the shoulders loosen, and your weight settles evenly on the ground. Without planning it, you have entered a posture of presence. In ancient training halls, they would say that true strength is not in the fist, but in the stillness behind it. A stable stance, a calm breath, and a focused gaze, these are the roots from which all skill grows. The mantra repeated with sincerity brings these roots together. As the echo resonates, you notice something subtle. The mind is no longer darting from one thought to another. It rests. This resting is not weakness, it is readiness. The still pond can reflect the moon only when it is undisturbed. Inner strength wakes quietly. It does not arrive with a shout. It rises like the slow brightening of the dawn, steady and certain. With each repetition, the alignment deepens. Breath supports body, body supports mind, mind supports intention. This is the unseen training. No one can measure it, yet it shapes every action you take. The more you practice, the more you carry that alignment into the day. Whether you speak, act, or simply stand, there is a groundedness beneath it all, a quiet force that comes from within and needs no display. The echo fades, but the strength remains, silent and unshakable. Within each of us, there are voices we did not create. They come from parents, from ancestors, from the long chain of lives that shaped our blood and bone. Some are voices of strength, discipline, resilience, wisdom. Others carry the weight of fear, doubt, and patterns that no longer serve the life we are building. Ancient teachings remind us that we are not just individuals, we are the continuation of those who came before. Their victories and their wounds flow through us like a river. The question is not whether they are there, it is whether we will let them steer our path. When you speak the mantra, you stand at a threshold. For those 36 seconds, you are not only calming your mind, you are making a choice. With each repetition, you decide which voices will echo forward and which will fade. You choose to keep the ones that guide you toward clarity, and to release the ones that hold you in the past. This is why the practice is more than habit, it is an act of renewal. The breath that carries the words also carries intention. The posture that holds you steady also holds your resolve. In this small window of silence and sound, you reshape the unseen threads of your inheritance. The elders in the old monasteries would say, when you train for all who came before, and all who will come after. The mantra is your offering to that lineage, a declaration that fear will not be the part you pass on, that doubt will not be the voice your future self remembers. Each time you return to it, you step more fully into the patterns you choose, and quietly step away from the ones you do not. Power does not always announce itself. Some of the strongest forces in life move unseen, like roots beneath the earth, or the tide beneath the surface of the sea. A mantra held in silence works in the same way. Its strength is not in who hears it, but in the intention with which it is spoken. Ritual does not require witnesses. In the old traditions, the most sacred practices were often hidden, not because they were forbidden, but because they were too precious to be treated carelessly. The value was in the reverence, in knowing that the act was for the practitioner alone. When you repeat the mantra for 36 seconds, you step into a private covenant with yourself. No one else needs to see your lips move. No one else needs to know the words. The silence around it becomes part of its strength. Without the noise of explanation or display, the energy of the act remains pure. In ancient temples, students would be given small personal tasks, sweeping a courtyard, arranging a stone garden, without telling anyone what lesson was being taught. Over time they learned that the power of the act was in the doing, not in the telling. Your mantra is the same. It is a quiet oath, a moment when you affirm who you choose to be, and what you choose to carry forward. 36 seconds may pass quickly, but within them, the discipline of respect is forged. When it ends, nothing visible may have changed. But deep within, something has shifted, a thread has been tied, a path has been marked, and a promise has been kept. And because it is secret, it remains yours, untouched by anything outside you. Great change rarely arrives in a single leap. It comes in steps so small they can be overlooked. One breath, one word, one moment of choosing to act instead of drift. This is the quiet path the old masters walked. Small actions, done well, until they shape the whole of a life. A single ritual, even one lasting only 36 seconds, may seem too small to matter. Yet the strength is not in its size, but in its consistency. When you return each day, you are training the mind to show up, no matter what storms move around you. In the monasteries, the students who progressed the furthest were not always the strongest or the fastest. They were the ones who kept coming back, sweeping the same floor, repeating the same forms, refining the same breath. Day after day, they built a rhythm so steady that it became unshakable. Discipline is born in these small repeated acts. They require no grand ceremony, no audience to applaud them. A whisper, spoken every day, will eventually carve a groove deeper than a shout made once. The mantra works in the same way. Each time you repeat it, you add a small stone to the foundation of your inner strength. At first the structure is invisible, but as the days pass, you will notice you meet challenges differently. You stand a little steadier. You speak with more intention. Momentum grows quietly. It does not need fanfare. The whisper of your practice becomes the current that carries you forward. And by the time you look back, you will see that the life you have built came not from a single act of will, but from the gentle, persistent discipline of a ritual done well every day. Clarity is not a gift that arrives by chance. It is something you create, one choice at a time. In the space where agitation once ruled, you now hold a stillness that you have shaped with your own discipline. 36 seconds of focus may seem small, yet it can change the way you move through the entire day. This is the essence of the teaching. The smallest rituals, done with sincerity, carry the greatest power. When you return to them daily, they become anchors in a world that pulls you in every direction. Let this mantra be your anchor. Let it be the moment you come back to yourself, no matter what surrounds you. Carry this practice forward. Make it part of your mornings, your pauses, your moments of quiet, before stepping into the next task. Watch how it strengthens not just your focus, but your way of living. If this teaching has spoken to you, share it with others who walk a similar path. And if you wish to keep learning and growing in discipline, clarity, and self-mastery, join us here. This is Shaolin Soulfire. Like this video, subscribe, and walk with us as we continue the journey together. Peace be with you.